Hello guys, how you all doing? Well, I'm good myself, and the new week is about to start. And so far, we only have one analysis. We only analyzed the US 30 yesterday, so I just thought that we should add something else that will be, watching, just to say, this during this coming week, this is what we will be expecting. All right, so I picked our favorite, which is Nasdaq. So let's start, and as always, we always start at the top and work our way down, which means we start with the highest time frame. So that's why I have my monthly chart open here. So on monthly, if you still remember the analysis that we did yesterday on US 30, you'll remember that you'll agree with me in saying that the structure that side looks more or less the same as what we are having this side, because even here we do have the positive side and the negative side, just like what we had yesterday. So the positive things that we are having here, the first one is that the price is inside monthly support, which is here, which is the monthly support. And what else? The negative would be that previously, or last month, we closed with a sort of a rejection bar, but now the price failed to go above that rejection bar. Remember, when we're having a rejection bar which is bullish, we will be more convinced if the price would reach that point, but in this case we rather reached the point lower than that, which is here. So that's more like we are invalidating this. So as much as we are looking to buy, since we are inside the monthly area of support, but the fact that we sort of went below that pin bar is not a good sign. It's not a good sign. But nonetheless, we'll still be searching for buying opportunities on lower time frames. Why? Because we are not saying the monthly support is going to be broken. We don't predict those. So every time the price hits a monthly support, we will be looking to take trades in the opposite side. Until it gets broken, we are not going to look past it. All right. And another thing that I want you to note is this one here. In this case, we can't put our zone here. Why? Because remember, we have this move and then sort of came back before taking off. So you just need to make sure that this stays at the lowest point in that area, which has to be this one. Because of what we did have this, and then we're going up. So the lowest point, and then you just put at the body. So here, when you're drawing your area of support, you just need to make sure that you place it slightly different to how we normally do it. So which is gonna be like this. Yes, something like that, because this is our lowest point and then this is our body, so it should pass somewhere there. So now let's go to weekly and see what we are having that side. And I'm not gonna make it long because it looks exactly the same as what we're having on US 30, which is the analysis that we made yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, make sure that you check it out, because you'll see that most of the time US 30 and US 100 on Nasdaq, they sort of make similar moves, especially on higher time frames. And then here we can say that maybe you want to put your zone there, a weekly zone, which is it was formed here. Then price went up, came back, tested it, went up, never came back. Now we are testing it the same level for the second time. But remember, the more a level get tested, the weaker it gets. But in this case, we are inside a monthly area of support, which is it has never been tested before, so it is being tested for the first time. So we will give this benefit of the doubt because it is located inside a higher time frame level, which is our monthly, and that monthly has never been tested before. And here on weekly, our weekly trend line is here. You just need to make sure that you add your weekly trend line and also add your nearest resistance. So we're still looking to buy. So there's nothing else that we can talk about. You just have to make sure that you add your resistance and also your trend line. Then let's just go on and add those, so that when you're moving down to daily, we would know where our our weekly area of resistance is located. There is our trend line, and let's add the zone now. There you go. Let's go down to daily and see what is happening on daily. So this is a weekly trend line, and it passes here. It's just that when you're moving down into the scale, sometimes you do look like it is out of place, but you can just how can I put this, adjust it. So on daily, we sort of we can say this is the move, and then we did have that, and then we had lower low, which means the daily trend line is here, just like just like the one that we had on US 30 yesterday, on the analysis that we made yesterday. So on daily, we have our trend line there. Remember, it's always very important that when you're analyzing your charts and drawing stuff on your chart, you must treat each time frame as an individual time frame. So this this belongs to a weekly. So just because you drew this one weekly doesn't mean when you're going to a different time frame you shouldn't draw a trend line, because remember, the trend might look different on each and every time frame that you have. So that's why when you're going to each time frame, make sure that you analyze it from start, so that you can put its own trend line and all stuff. So here our area, our trend line is there, and we have our area of resistance here, which is very too close. So it's going to make it difficult for us to trade, unless if it comes slightly lower, so that we can have maybe 2:1 before we hit the trend line, or before we hit that area, then we can take a trade. Because currently it looks it's gonna challenge us in a sense that the opposing area of resistance is here. If you take a trade, look at the space between that and where you're gonna place my stop loss, so that I have at least 2 times the risk in terms of risk to reward. So it's gonna be a challenge, but we'll work around that. So here, all we have to keep in mind is that our nearest area of resistance is there, and then we do have a trend line that we drew there. So let's check our H4. We can remove this from weeklies, so that it doesn't create a mess. And then this is our daily trend line, which also looks the same as our H4 trend line. On H4, the trend line stays there, which is the same as what we had on daily. And on H4, still our nearest area is here, but because it's smaller than what we had on the other side, you can see that now the space looks slightly bigger to get there. So let's see. And the price is approaching opposing structure, which is what the bearish trend line. So we'll just see how the price reacts there. So if the price comes down, remember, we are still inside monthly and weekly support. Remember, on the higher time frames, we're still inside the support. So even if it comes here, it will still be inside the higher time frame, the monthly and the weekly support. So if it comes down there, and then it gives us reasons to buy, maybe pin bars there, and then we put a buy stop, we can do that. And then, but when you get to the trend line, you need to be careful. You need to put your stop losses to break even, close half of your position, or close your position completely. Why? Because we are not going to predict that this trend line is going to be broken. That's why we are exiting, so that we wait for the price to tell us what it wants to do. If it breaks the trend line, then we know when it comes back, we can take another buy, because now our resistance won't be at the trend line. The trend line won't exist anymore. We'll be targeting the new area of resistance up there. So you need to be careful with this one. Or if now it goes up and breaks the trend line, then I can put this as my support, then I can take a buy. So whatever that I'm risking here is definitely double what we're gonna get for us to get there. Or we can even put this area of resistance, we can put it at this level here, which is the one that gave us the gap, and it was sort of tested or missed slightly, but yeah, we can put it there. So when I'm taking the buy, I must make sure this is at least double what I'll be risking, because the trend line will be broken. Then I can take it like that. But we'll see. But it doesn't, overall we can see that we're expecting the price to sort of react from this monthly area of support, but we're just worried with us going lower than that pin bar. But until it breaks this level, we are going to lean towards the bulls, or towards a pullback. at least even if it just pulls back like that and not go all the way up, but we are leaning towards getting a reaction there. So yeah, that will be all. So we can see that we can conclude by saying that it's either you wait for the price to break this trend line, or if it doesn't break it and comes lower, you can get another reason to buy. And then, but when you're buying, be mindful of this trend line because it is not yet broken. So that's why the price can still react from it. Or if from where we are, if we break, then mark this, because remember, we can't trade from here. You'll see some people buying from this, buying from there, and saying the trend line is going to be broken and stuff. It can break the trend line, yes, but we don't have to predict that. It's very risky. I mean, how do you know that now the price is to break the trend line? How do you tell that the price is to test this trend line 5 times before breaking it, or 3 times or 4 times? We cannot predict that. So that's why I'm saying it's risky. Sometimes you'll get it right, but not because you knew that was not going to happen, but you were just lucky. So that's why I would rather have the trend line broken, and then I plan to take a shot, knowing very well that the trend line has been broken. It's safer that way, because sometimes we'll be saying, let me buy, it's going to break it, and then it comes down. Let me buy, it's going to break it, then it comes down. Let me buy, it's going to break it, then it comes down. Then you'll be like, fuck, let me just leave it. Then it comes back and go like that. Then you'll be like, they are manipulating the price. They saw that I'm no longer buying. Now they are breaking the trend line. And next, that's not how it works. You just entered, the way you entered was just not it. So rather wait for this area of resistance, this opposing structure to be removed, so that when I'm buying, I know the next one is maybe this one, because we said this is a strong one because of what it gave us a gap. So when I'm buying there, at least I know this has to be at least double what I'll be risking there. Then I know that I'm on the safe side. So that's what we'll be looking for. But overall, we are pointing to the upside, and we will be expecting that pullback for as long as the price does not break this. If it breaks this, then that's something else. But because we don't predict that it will be broken, we don't work like that. We don't predict that area of support is going to be broken, especially on higher time frames. The price must break it, then that's when we'll react and trade in that direction. But for now, because the area of support is holding, we're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. All right, guys, so I wish you a peaceful week, and then I'll just update throughout the week as the structure changes. And yeah, so I'll be keeping an eye on this one. All right, do not forget to like and subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one. Sharp.